Rome didn't fall because of an army, it fell because of a story. But before the story, there was the machine. At its peak, Rome controlled 5 million square kilometers of land. It commanded over 400,000 soldiers. It had never lost a war it started on its own terms. For 500 years, every civilization that looked across its borders and thought about fighting, thought again. So here's the question. No history book opens with, what does it actually take to bring something like that down? Not a bigger army, not a better general, a whisper. That is what this story is about. A Roman soldier carries 80 pounds of armor and marches 20 miles a day, 6 days a week, in heat, in rain, in mud, without complaint. A commander raises 2 fingers, a village burns. Engineers measure angles, a city falls. Carthage, erased. Gaul, broken. Judea, crushed beneath Roman law and Roman boots. From Britain's frozen coastline to Egypt's burning sands. One ruler, one language, one law. Rome does not ask permission to enter your land. At the center of it all, Caesar, draped in purple, surrounded by marble columns engineered specifically to make every human being who walks through them feel small. Rome is not just powerful. Rome believes, genuinely, completely, that it is eternal. Picture one man, a slave in Rome, 60 AD. No name in any history book. He hauls stone for the emperor's new form during the day. At night, in a basement apartment above a tavern in the Subura district, someone whispers something to him. Not a rebellion, not a plan. He comes back the next night. He brings someone else. This is not how empires are supposed to die. Empires die in battles, on open fields, with trumpets and blood and marble monuments marking the spot. Not in a basement, not in a whisper. And yet, here it begins. In the back alleys of Antioch, in apartments above Roman taverns, in underground tunnels carved from volcanic rock beneath Rome's own streets. Slaves sitting beside citizens, women beside soldiers, the conquered sitting beside the conquerors, all listening to the same story, and they are willing to die for it. To every Roman governor trained to detect uprisings, this is more unsettling than any army on the border. An army wants land. These people want something Rome cannot tax, cannot confiscate, and cannot kill. Every execution in the arena, meant as a warning, becomes a recruitment. Every martyr becomes a story, and stories travel faster than legions. Above ground, Rome has never looked stronger. Gold, marble, the emperor's face on every coin in every market from Londinium to Alexandria. But beneath those same streets, in the dark, oil lamps flicker, simple symbols are scratched into stone walls, a name, no trumpets, just conviction. The machine stands taller than ever, and the whisper grows louder, the gamble. By 300 AD, Rome's empire is so large that one man can no longer run it, so it is split between 4 rulers. You already know how this ends. Within years, Rome is at war with itself. Generals declare themselves emperors. Emperors have rivals killed at dinner. Legions that once pointed outward now face each other across Italian fields. Civil war, the most intimate kind of violence. And from this fracture, one man emerges. Constantine. Just a general with disciplined soldiers and one specific problem. His rival Maxentius holds Rome itself. Fortified. Well supplied. Numerically superior, Constantine marches south, wins smaller battles, advances. But as he reaches the Milvian Bridge in October of 312 AD, the mathematics of war turn against him. The Tiber River behind the enemy. His veterans are outnumbered. And morale, that invisible currency that decides battles before a single sword is drawn, is fragile. He cannot buy what he needs. He cannot train what he needs. He needs his men to believe they cannot lose. That night, beneath a bruised Italian sky, something happens. The exact details, history still debates. Accounts describe a vision, a symbol blazing in the sky, a cross of light. 3 words in Latin burned beneath it. In hoc signo vinces. In this sign, conquer. Whether Constantine genuinely saw this, or whether he saw an opportunity, nobody alive can say. And that question is far more interesting than any answer. Or did he invent one? He orders the Chi Rho symbol painted on every shield, not as prayer, as a weapon. His soldiers wake the next morning bound not just by rank and orders, but by shared destiny, something no rival can manufacture and no army can counter. Morning. The bridge. Chaos. Steel on bone. The Tiber swallows the losing side. Maxentius drowns in his own armor. Constantine walks into Rome beneath that symbol, and the world that existed before the morning does not exist anymore. The cross, once scratched by trembling hands into catacomb walls, is stamped onto imperial decrees. The faith Rome fed to lions is now protected by Roman law. The persecuted become the protected, and the machine that spent 3 centuries trying to crush this whisper has just handed it the keys. What refuses to die 476? AD. The end. And it does not look the way you imagine. No dramatic last stand, no heroic final battle. Just a boy emperor on a throne too large for him. Romulus Augustulus, 16 years old, named after Rome's founder and Rome's greatest emperor, reduced to a footnote. A general named Odoacer simply walks in. The gates open. The imperial crown is boxed up and sent east to Constantinople, like a parcel returned to sender. Silence. The soldiers go unpaid. Across Gaul, Hispania, Britannia, the lights of Roman administration go dark, one by one, like candles at the end of a long night. And yet, one part refuses to stop moving. Because Rome was never only soldiers and marble, it was structure, hierarchy, procedure, and those things had already found a new host. As the imperial throne emptied, another seat filled with weight. The Bishop of Rome. The Pope commands no legions. But kings wait for his blessing before they act. Roman districts become church dioceses. Latin, the language of conquest, becomes the language of scripture. Roman law becomes European law. Barbarian kings govern through frameworks preserved in monastery libraries by monks who had never held a sword. The blueprint survives the building. Remember that nameless slave who listened to a whisper in a basement in 60 AD? The story he heard, the one the most powerful empire on earth spent centuries trying to silence, is now read aloud in every cathedral from Rome to the edge of the known world, spoken in the language of the empire that crucified its founder, administered through the structures of the state that tried to destroy it. So what fell in 476? A throne, but not the idea. And empires built on ideas do not fall with cities. They colonize time itself. The behemoth is dust, but its echo is still here, enlarged in the arches of every cathedral that still pierces the sky of every European city. Rome did not end. It shed its armor. It kept its soul. And the whisper it spent centuries trying to destroy became the loudest voice in Western history. That is not irony. That is the most important lesson power has never learned, and probably never will.